Welcome to the Just Bake channel. This is the channel where we
do things and say stuff.
Man, and sometimes it'll be a Just Bake podcast. Sometimes it'll be Just Bake advice. We don't know. There's no names on anything yet. But, man, we're here to drop some Am I the Astronauts? We're here to give some advice that's, asked of, not necessarily of us, but of the internet. And, hey, we are of the internet. So, let's get to it. We got some stories to read, and we got some advice to give.
Inquisitive minds want to know.
Am I the astronaut for not stopping a threesome my girlfriend initiated but now regrets?
Nope.
Let's hear it. It's tough to blame, but
we'll hear it out.
My girlfriend, 24, female, and I, 26, male, have been dating for 2 years. We share a lot of details about fantasies, and she has mentioned a few times that she has thought of threesomes before, specifically with another girl. So last Friday, we went out to this house party and ended up meeting this girl named Sarah, who is a friend of a friend. Tell them that it's them again. Sarah was super cool, and we all hit it off immediately, and to be honest, there was definitely chemistry between the three of us. We were all pretty drunk and ended up back at our place. Things progressed pretty easily, and we ended up having a threesome together. It was really great. No one had any qualms. Everyone was very into it and consenting. We actually exchanged numbers with Sarah, and she left the next day, and there were no hard feelings. Here's where it gets weird. Dun, dun, dun. My girlfriend has been super distant since. I asked her if everything was all right. Yo, isn't that the best shit? When, obviously nothing's all right, and you're like, is everything all right, Megan? Is everything all right?
I'm giving you the chance to talk.
I asked her if everything was all right, and she said she thought she wanted it, but then seeing me with another woman made her sick. Understandable. Sometimes you're just like, all right, so pecan rum raisin ice cream, I might like it. You get a mouthful, and you're just like, hey.
I regret that.
That's not me.
I wish I never put that in my mouth.
I think that's the same story here. I asked her if everything was all right, and she said she thought she wanted it, but then seeing me with another woman made her sick. She has now said I should have read the room and just stopped when things got too far. Man, listen, everybody's drunk. The reading the room's getting a little bit tough there.
There's no bifocals on at that point.
And here we go. But she was actively participating, ? She never said to stop or looked uncomfortable. She was the one who proposed us going back to our place. Am I supposed to be a mind reader? Well, if you're dating a woman, yes you are, and I can say that from experience. That's a non-negotiable. You're just supposed to be a mind reader. Listen,
read the room.
We all fail at it. But you're just supposed to know. Now she is saying that I cared more about my pleasure than hers.
Whoa.
But I am not sure how I was supposed to know she was having any second thoughts when she never said anything. It feels like I'm being blamed for something that we both agreed to. Am I the astronaut for not knowing?
No, you're not. Hey, man, she sparked the idea. She put the battery in the pack. And you were like, okay, honey, let's do this. And you did it, and now she hates it. I think some people get involved with the whole... not liking your fantasy as much as you thought. You know what I mean? It was a fantasy of yours, but you didn't embrace it as much. It's like, it sounds good on paper.
Exactly, but that's the thing is listen, do you ever watch some porno and then as soon as you nut, just been like, ugh. That's probably what happened here too. You know what I mean?
As soon as it's all over and it's like,
yeah.
You really enjoyed that with her, didn't you? I mean,
I know.
You didn't really stop either, honey. You were right down in that box.
Yep.
Taking good business.
I think, obviously, it's not your fault. And it's understandable that in my mind, I think I was going to like this. Boom, she didn't like it. But there's no reason to blame you. There's, time for talking and there's time for truth to just hit her with okay, so we're not doing that again.
Right.
All right.
Hey, are you going to be able to get past that, though, right? Is that going to always flash in your mind? I can't think. But that's you kind of brought it to the table. And it's like she brought it to the table, correct?
That's what he's saying the whole time. It was her idea. She saw the girl. She suggested going back to the house.
Right. Well, she even initially mentioned it from the beginning. Hey, I kind of had this, thoughts of a threesomes, you know? And then the guy's probably like, all right. You really down for that, honey? And it's almost like, it's a tough one. Like, you sure? I think he'd probably be down for it more. But, are you sure, honey?
I think probably after... I don't think it's coming up again, but what I mean is, I think it's probably such a headache that he probably wouldn't, next time she gets drunk, and if she ever does bring it up again, it would have to be that,
nope.
You remember, you don't like this, we're not doing this
and
because...
she should remember.
regret is just that. Regret is regret. Regret doesn't mean anyone did anything wrong. Regret is like, wow, I did that. I didn't like that I did that. So the blame doesn't have to go anywhere because you don't have to be mad at another person. You could also just be like, have that experience of, wow, I didn't like that. But it's not somebody else to blame.
Don't blame somebody, right? Because you got to take accountability for what the hell you was going on here. You spearheaded it. You pulled him in. He's trying to make his woman happy, and then he was, got into it, obviously. I mean, you kind of
while he was doing that, because, obviously it'd be graphic to have details, but, okay, so I'm assuming at one point he was pleasuring her, because that's what she seems to be,
caught up on. Yeah.
So while that was happening, what were you doing?
Right.
That's what I'd like to know.
Watching with anger.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Damn, you don't do that to me. You know what I mean?
If that's happening to where, okay, if then, say, you're with the girl on the bed, and your girl is over there with her arms folded, and, you didn't react to that, got it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not against the woman. I'm saying, if she was on the bed, I don't like this, I'm not comfortable with this, but obviously that's not... See, it seems to be the question of, like I said, for every man, for every woman, am I supposed to be a mind reader? Like I said, the answer is yes. That is what you're supposed to be. But it is not fair to us, but it just is what it is.
It's just what it is. And it's read the room. I'm going to town in Pleasureville, and you were here with me, and then maybe you stepped aside, or I'm focused here. Maybe you want to get back involved. It had to be a moment of just feeling like, oh, you were really going to town over there, weren't you? You know what I mean?
But that's my question. Like I said, that we don't have the answer to is, when you were with the other girl, where was your girl? Like I said, was she sitting on the other girl's face? Was she sitting in the corner, arms crossed, being like, what are you doing?
You know what it was? She fucking sobered up midway through that shit.
Yeah.
The alcohol probably started on the decline. I'm not as drunk as I was when I initially wanted this, and now I don't like it. And
well, like I said, there's also, there's the fantasy, and then you got the flavor, and you just went oh.
I wonder what that tastes like.
Like I said, that doesn't mean that it's now his fault. And it's, as a group together, it's understandable that you guys now talk about this and okay, so we dipped into that pool.
Right.
And it's not for us.
People do it all the time, man. You hear stories of people saying, hey, people are into the cuckold things or whatever, and it's just like, hey, I want to watch you pound my girl. And then somebody comes and really just annihilates your woman. It's like, oh my God, what did I do? Yeah, well, this is what you asked for, buddy.
It is a weird, what did you think was going to happen?
What did you think was going to happen? You pull in one of these damn video guys that are just like, I do this for a living. I'm going to give her an experience she never had before. It's like, When
I was watching the Mace and Cameron show, and Cameron was losing his mind because, they cover the Puffy trial every now and then. He's just like, so a guy called The Punisher just came on the stand. Mace, did you ever meet him back in the day when you were in the... Yeah, it's like...
In that circle?
Don't invite The Punisher in the room.
Right.
Same thing. It could be flipped on this. If this guy was down with bringing another guy in the room, and the guy just goes to town on your girl, it's understandable to be like, yo, babe, I didn't know. Or you might be one of those people that's like, if she feels pleasure, I feel pleasure. So that so
you got
to
trade off. There's people that are there. I'm good for the trade off, but it's like, whoa, you're doing it too good. And that might have been one of her things. I ain't know. Wow, you were doing some things that I'd never seen, honey. That's all I'm saying. I'm a little jealous. Could have been that, but like you said, conversation is number one.
Conversation is number one. Mind reading is number two. Man, there's some people that you catch glances, you catch vibes, you catch other things. There's also some people that are just like, what? You've been mad for the past 2 fucking years? I didn't know. You've never said anything.
Right.
You gotta understand.
Oblivious to this readings that you want. I want you to just get it. But then you'll tell him, I need you to communicate better. What?
Listen, in my business, this is something that I have to do. I ask people, what is your preferred method of communication? Would you like me to call you? Would you like me to text you? Would you like me to email you? Work on your preferred method of communication, especially with your significant other.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, it's not mind reading. It's that's listen, we can't go off vibes. Right. It's just not going to work, man.
You just need to get me.
Yeah.
But
listen,
I did get what you said, but we did it.
You don't always have to be told to empty the dishwasher, to take out the garbage, to do stuff like that. That's not what I'm talking about. Just tell me to do it. That's not what I mean. Right. What I'm talking is if your guy is fucking another girl and you don't like it, you can't just be like, it's just
know that I don't like this.
Exactly.
Know that I turn around and look at me, and then look in my eye and see that I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
Or you could just blow the whistle. Game's over. this is ending right now, and then he'll be like, oh, okay, you're not having as much fun. He said they went through with it all, and
and the next morning exchanged numbers and everything was good.
That was so much fun.
Yeah.
While she's like, no, it wasn't.
Because that's what I'm saying. It's like, are you fucking her, and your lady's behind you, literally pushing your ass into her harder? You know what I mean? And then the next day she's like, be honest with you, I didn't like it. Like, you know what I mean? You can't be blamed for that. But you'd be an asshole if you're like, but babe, I really want to do it again and again and again. Like, yeah.
And now if you're pushing it and it's like,
exactly.
Now you're getting too much. Like, well, maybe you shouldn't open Pandora's box.
Yeah.
Because maybe he didn't have the idea until you sparked it in him. Like, you sure? Because, there's always that little part of a guy like, for real? My baby want to, all right.
Yep.
But
like I say, it's understandable. I mean, obviously now you guys are in the no bracket of like, well, she doesn't like it.
Right. So
you tried it and you don't like it, and that's nobody's fault.
And if she wants to like ditch you for that, then then she's got some other stuff she needs to handle because that wasn't really. You guys made a decision as a couple. Mm-hmm. You gotta stand on that.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't believe that you are an astronaut. I just think I would even say no harm, no foul. Keep communication open. Yes, she has all the right to be disappointed that she did this, but she doesn't have the right to be mad at you about it because you guys did this shit together. And it'd be a lot different if you're like, yo, I asked my girl for 3 years and it finally happened and she didn't like it. No, she
sparked it, right?
Yeah.
It was like you sit over here like, well, I'm just gonna I'm gonna keep fishing in this one hole. Now you want me to go get a rod out and fish again? So you're suggesting I fish somewhere else? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Now
caught a bass. Now what happened?
When I catch a largemouth bass. You're going to feel some kind of way. You thought I was going to get a little minnow. No.
You're not an astronaut. Communicate. Stay strong with that.
Stay strong. You shop at Amazon?
Use our link down below to go to Amazon and shop as you normally would. Regular. If you get there through us, they throw us a little something.
A little crumbs. Crumbs for being the plug.
28 female, danced with my gay friend at a wedding. My 37-year-old male boyfriend is upset. I feel like this is abnormal behavior, ?
Well, it depends on what you did in that dance floor.
It all depends on what the dance was. Yeah.
Did you grab it? Like, he's gay, he doesn't mind.
Exactly. That's that shit. Yeah, how many fucking videos you've seen where it's like the gay guy is just, girl, on the tits, and you're like, I don't care what your sexual preference is. You just grab my girl's tits. I don't know what.
I probably feel some way if her girlfriend did it. You know
exactly.
What I mean? Let's keep it real.
I love that you're. No, babe. The gay guy just grabbed my dick. It's fine. Like what? It's not. I attended my friend's wedding yesterday. It was beautiful, and I had a blast. During the reception, I slow danced with my boyfriend to one song. It was a Hispanic wedding, so the music playing turned into fast-paced music. I danced with my gay friend, who is male, along with other ladies at the wedding while my boyfriend went to sit down. Okay, this is the question. Did you guys dance in a circle? You danced with your gay friend, as in, like... Grind, there's also...
Was there a solo time?
Yeah. What is the thing? Yeah, it's like you're saying you danced with all of your friends. Was that at once? Or are you thinking, I danced with him, I danced with her, I danced with... Like, so...
Right.
We'll get to it.
Yep.
Well, my boyfriend went to sit down. My male friend is completely gay and doesn't like women at all. We held hands in the air while dancing and took turns spinning each other, which was so much fun. My friend never touched my waist once, and we were a foot apart the whole time. Dancing with my gay friend was completely platonic. My boyfriend and I left early since he had to work the next day, and we had a 50-minute drive home. I thought everything was fine until my boyfriend and I got into the car, and he dropped the bomb on me that he didn't like how I danced with another man, and that I should have gotten his permission before I danced with him. I am an independent person, and I don't see why that is necessary. He continued to say that him dancing with another woman would be the equivalent. I told him that's false because he would have had to dance with a lesbian woman who isn't into him for it to be considered even. My gay friend is very obviously gay and came to the wedding alone, so I feel like it made both of our nights fun to just dance and have some fun.
Yeah, it's not that. I mean, it's not that crazy.
You're okay.
Yeah.
Listen, it would have been different if you were just like... he's gay. Yes, listen, he was grinding on me. Like, yeah, he threw me on the floor and hit me with the fucking...
Right,
like, no.
the snake, and he fucking threw my leg up and was like, I'm gay, so I can do this.
Exactly.
And no one will think I'm really... Well, maybe you're bi on the low. You know what I'm saying?
Babe, he had sex with me, but he's gay. You don't get it. It's not a big deal.
He didn't enjoy it as much.
Exactly. No. I jerked him off, but he's gay. You're not getting it. He's gay. It's fine. No, that's obviously not what happened here.
Yeah,
You know?
It was, and it's like they're far apart from each other. It's like I need permission to dance with the game. Like you're doing too much, bro.
Listen, I don't agree with the boyfriend, but like I was even gonna say it would even be able to be like a little bit closer to a home run for the guy if she was just like. You know, and we did slow dancing, and his arms were around my neck, and my arms were around his waist.
And
She even said it here.
Right, if it was
his arms were never around my waist.
Right, their hands in the air spinning around. You know what I think this is? The nigga just had better dance moves than him.
So might have been.
He showed you up because he had the dance moves, which a lot of my gay brothers out there have these moves that us heterosexual males don't have the hips to do.
Don't have it.
You know what I'm saying? So
the hips don't lie.
They don't lie. You know what I mean? He turned into fucking, little Rachi out there and just turned up on that motherfucker. And, what are you going to do with that? You know what I mean?
I think certain things speak to the dynamic of your relationship. Like, first off, you're dating a guy 9 years older than you. Not great, but not the worst. No big deal. But what I'm saying is that is enough to be from a little bit of a different generation.
Different cloth of things.
To where he said, you should have asked my permission. Right.
Maybe a gay guy bagged his woman in the past.
Permission is... Permission is kind of interesting to ask about, like I said, if you're just dancing with your gay friend, I don't see the big... Like I said, there's so much room in there to where, like, no, and he's just kissing on my neck, but he's gay, it's no big deal. No, he kissed my face. And like, I get.
But he sounded like he would have did that if that was, like, her best friend's 72-year-old uncle.
Exactly. Would have been, yo, he had his...
You got to be permission to dance with him like that? Yo, he's 72. You know what I'm saying? Like... It's not it. You're supposed to be comfortable with that, man. Your woman's dancing. It's all right, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I said, in this, I don't see anything wrong with just normal dancing. Like,
unless she's not telling the truth.
Explained it. I think she explained it great. Listen, we were a foot away. Okay, yeah, we had everyone knows what that looks like to hold hands in the air and dance around. Like, that's not a...
Right. It's a ballerina twirl.
Exactly.
And it's... Unless, the only thing I can think of is if you're not telling, this side, that side, and then here... Maybe here you might not be saying.
Exactly.
But from what you're saying here is like, my man wilding out. You wilding out. 50 minutes of arguing for dancing with your gay friend. Yep. Is crazy.
When, like I said, if there's no... Because I've seen the going too far with, like I said, damn girl, those tits are great. Thunk. Like, yo, don't do that.
I understand you're gay, but it's boundaries.
Because if your lesbian friend grabbed my dick, you wouldn't be happy either. So, like, it's understandable to...
But she's a butch. You know what I mean? She's like one of the fellas. She's a stud. She's going to grab me. Nope. Because I'm going to be like, whoa.
Exactly.
Because right now, you're like one of the fellas, and fellas don't do that with each other when I'm a heterosexual male. You know what I'm saying? It's like when I'm
How you doing, man? Don't do me with the low handshake, you know what I'm saying? We're not here to test rods.
Heterosexual men don't really greet each other that way. That's all. You know what I mean? But
no, but from what you're saying, I don't see the big fucking deal. Obviously your boyfriend went to sit down because he didn't want to dance, and you're out there dancing, and like I said, you're not bumping and grinding, you're not fucking throwing it back, and he's fucking whatever.
I think the term abnormal behaviors doesn't fit. I think the nigga just jealous and need to get over it. Abnormal. It's not abnormal. This guy's like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, just you dance with anything, and it's just like, you got to know your man. Is that the first time he's done that, or is he like that at all times? Or it's like, I got to dance with my friend, but now I got to deal with this motherfucker because he's going to do that because that's who he is. Even if it was my cousin, it was a male, or you dance with him a little too hard, that's my cousin. Like, or y'all kissing cousins? Like, he's going to do that for whoever. You know what I mean? Like you said, if it's a homegirl and they're grinding on each other, that's going to be a problem too. Yeah,
I think it's just a situation you got to find out and have real talks with, let's get to the bottom of this. What's up? Like, it's my gay friend. He didn't touch me. We didn't, the thing I really do like is she had put in there, like, he didn't put his hands around my waist. He didn't do it. Because I get that too. No matter who the fuck it is, you don't want to see them, cuddled up and whatever the fuck. I get it. But that didn't happen.
So it wasn't a Gaga video.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like... very elegant dancing. He did the fairy twirl. You know what I mean? Exactly. They had a good time. That's what it sounds like.
You did the Spinderella. It's no big deal.
What I'm seeing here, he was by himself. He had his girls.
No, you got to have that conversation and see if that's someone you want to be with. But holla front until then, man. Let us know how you feel about it.
Twirl your way to the like butt way at it, man. And the sub butt.
Twirl a girl. Did you know that we have a Patreon?
It's only $1.
Everything that gets blocked by YouTube, we throw up there. We watch live videos. We watch reactions. We watch stuff we can't watch here.
Go there.
$1. Is it typical for adults to keep buying their friends' birthday gifts? Maybe, sometimes. For context, my husband and I are newlyweds. We bought a house and moved across state lines less than a year ago, and we also paid for a good portion of the wedding expenses. Well, that's your fault if you paid too much for your own wedding, John. My husband keeps telling me we can't spend too much because he wants to rebuild our savings. Understandable?
Yeah, smart.
He's always stingy on groceries and home improvement expenses and constantly reminding how expensive the last few months have been. As you said, you paid too much for your whatever.
Right, he's trying to recoup.
Yep. Today we were at the store and I wanted to pick up a couple of things for the garden and was once again met with, not this month, I'm trying to grow our nest egg. Keep in mind, I also have my own job and income, but he complains nonetheless. A few aisles later, we stop in the electrics department so he can get his friend a birthday gift of $60 worth of Steam gift cards for a video game the guy's been wanting. I brought up how he said he keeps telling me he doesn't want to spend money on us, so why is he buying a 38-year-old man a $60 video game? I also argued that my friends and I grew out of birthday gift giving after we stopped being children and started living our own adult lives with our own responsibilities. My husband got extremely offended and defensive about it, accused me of being antisocial, said his friendships are true friends because they see each other a lot, where I see my friends maybe once a year or two if I'm lucky. Yeah, those aren't like that is a big difference in friendship. I'm not saying like you don't have real friends, but I'm saying that's a huge difference. My husband got extremely offended and defensive about it, accused me of being antisocial, said his friendships are true friends because they see each other a lot, where I see my friends maybe once every year or two if I'm lucky. We are 40 and have careers, family, live long distances apart, and his friends have all never left their parents' houses, much less their hometowns, and have time. Needless to say, I was upset that he will refuse to help invest in our home. I keep having to furnish it myself, then hear him complain about the money spent, yet he sees no issues with dropping nearly $100. Well, $60 is not nearly $100. Stop that.
Go closer to 50.
Yeah. Nearly $100 on a game for a middle-aged man who is more than capable of funding his own wants. We got heated in the debate over priorities and cut our shopping trip short and drove home in silence. On the way home, he started to actually look up on the internet if it's weird to give close friends birthday gifts and did not include any context regarding him making a point to spend less money and being a new homeowner / newlywed. He did not, they misspelled a whole bunch of stuff. He did not show what he found, but told me the majority of answers were in favor and that it's fairly common for adults to continue to buy birthday presents for friends and that I'm the one with the weird ideals. So am I a jerk, or is this actually the immature priorities of a man-child? Well, listen, just first off,
throwing a lot of jabs in
you sound like you don't really like your husband.
Or you don't like him, you don't like his friends.
We got a too long didn't read. Husband and I disagree over whether you age out of buying birthday gifts for friends as you grow older and your responsibilities increase. Edit. So, I am aware it isn't about the gifts. I also want to be clear that I don't oppose gifts. I just don't think they should be expected I don't think they should be expected if you are not a literal child. The reason I use birthday gifts as a topic is because that is what stuck with him. He only argued about my audacity to not be okay with him spending money on a special occasion for his friend and completely disregarded my concerns over his hypocrisy on the budget he imposed on us. Ooh.
Right. I mean, a $60 video game to a fucking $500 shingle job. I mean, if that's, they didn't really say what the repair.
It is more like, it's $10,000 to change your roof.
Right.
Well, I could put it to you like this. No, you guys have very different friendship relationships.
Dynamics, right.
Very different friend dynamics to where, I'm not saying you're wrong. Let me get that out the way. I'm not saying you're wrong. What I'm saying is, you see your friends once a year. You said once a year or two if you're lucky. So, you said, your man's friend is 38. I assume you guys are around the same age. So, like, what, you're going to see your friends 10 to 15 more times in their life, and he sees his friends often.
Right.
You guys have different relationships with different friends. I don't think anybody's wrong in buying or not buying a gift. Because even, I would say, between me and you, like, I think some years I get you a gift. Sometimes I don't. I don't even know. Like, I don't keep track of it like that. Like, if I see something that you like...
You didn't get it right. You seeing it.
If I see something that sparks my mind about you around your birthday, I'll pick it up for you. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I don't have a strong and fast rule on it.
Man, it's my birthday game. He got me nothing. That means our friendship is gone. Like I said, this is probably what they do. His friends probably buy him gifts as well. They just exchange like that. And it's like... You can't, because you don't have that relationship with your friends, you can't then now say his shit is childish. I didn't like that kind of verbiage, like where you're like, it's childish, it's
You were
stupid.
definitely putting him down.
Right, you know, you're
like
childish,
man-child.
you're man-child, this and that. It's like, from you even wording it like that, it almost makes it seem indication of like your conversation when was that way.
Yeah.
Well, of course, you're gonna get defensive if you're talking to him instead of kind of explaining yourself of why you think it's a bad idea, instead of just kind of insulting him is what it sounds like. You know what I mean? You're friends. He's more than capable. It's not. Of course, he's capable of buying it. But any gift you buy somebody, more than likely, is something they could probably buy themselves.
Yes.
That's not the point, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
listen, the thing I'll hop on your side with is, no, he didn't have to get $60 worth of gift cards. You could have hit him with a $20 gift card, $25 gift card. I'm with you on that. You did not have to spend $60, especially if times are rough and you guys are...
Right. And that's the part I really lean in. I hear with that. Like, if you bitching about money save, my man.
Yeah.
And especially when you're going into like minute groceries, we can't do this, everything's too expensive. You know, that guy like, you can't do that, that's too expensive. But like, not the $60 game. Like, well, bro, that's in the same bracket. I can't get the fucking, $6 avocados. You know what I mean?
But
where tariffs.
Where I do have to shoot a flag up is, if you're like this, which is the example I'm about to give, then you're probably like this in other areas. Has no issue dropping nearly $100 on it. Nothing was near $100. So now this exaggeration makes me think that might not be an isolated incident in your exaggeration.
Right.
So I don't know what's going on outside of that.
It might be a whole different thing. It's like some of the stuff he's really trying to be frugal about, you might think is nothing. It might be big shit. You know what I'm saying? We're like, that's $400. We don't have time for that. Or big numbers, not like a $50 something or $60 something. You know what I mean? Well, she's saying groceries. Well, maybe you want to drop $400 in groceries. Like, hey, we got enough. $120, $150, we can last. We spread it out.
Exactly. You might want the filet mignon, and he's like, baby, we got to do ground chuck for a couple months, you know?
Right.
But that might be, or I feel you, yes, he also might be a hypocrite. It's your name calling and your exaggeration that throws me off.
Right.
It's you calling him a man-child. It's you saying it was nearly $100 when $60 is not that. So just don't do that. I think you'd be better off talking only about finances in terms of, you said you have your own job and income, but he complains nonetheless. So in my opinion, I understand that you guys are married, you guys are together, but what you should do is your income goes into your bank account. His income goes into his bank account.
Right.
You then have a middle bank account to where we're getting the roof done, it's $10,000. Baby, you put in 5 G's into this account. When I put in 5 G's into this account, we have $10,000 to get that shit started. You also have a, savings account, like this guy said, to get your nest egg back up. Have that as a separate thing that you guys can both put into. Or, I'm not accusing you, I'm just asking you, do you have your own job and income, which is 20 hours a week, and you really don't put in, a whole bunch into the pot?
Right, and it's just, you're saying this, I have my own money, I have my own income, so it's like, it's confusing. Like, so I guess he has probably the bigger responsibility to divvy up and take care of everything. That's what it seems like. He has that responsibility.
Yeah.
So he's the one that's kind of doing the finances of the household. So he can really dictate what's what. Or if it's not that and you got the money to get extra for the groceries, then do that.
Also, don't be this person that, if this is the case, because I don't know because you didn't leave enough, but how you're saying he is, no, we can't do it, we can't do that, I'm trying to grow my nest egg. You're saying you have your own job and income. Are you one of those people that's just handing your money over and be like, baby, tell me what we have left?
Right.
Because don't do that. No matter what. Like I said, if you guys have a shared bank account, but never be without your own bank account and your own money.
Right. And if you're doing that, you can't complain about the result of that.
Exactly. Because I don't know your guys' setup.
Right. You don't know the setup. But if you're allowing that to be the setup and do that, then he kind of controls and dictates how the money's flowing because you gave him that power to do so. Either come up with a better dynamic breakdown.
Yeah.
Or
I would also don't shit on your man for having a good relationship with his friends.
Yeah, that's tough.
I do understand if your man is friends with people who, like you said, never left their parents' house and they're 38.
Right. If your dynamic was his, you see them once a year and you're buying them gifts. Like, well, maybe not that. You know what I mean? Like, I see my friend probably fucking once every 2 years, but every birthday I got to make sure I get him a gift. You don't have to. You know what I mean? But it's
a tough situation to where I wonder how your guys' arguments go. I wonder how your problem solving goes. Like I said, just you're calling him a fucking immature man-child. Like
Right.
For buying his friend a gift.
Right. And it was very particular. It was like, you didn't have a video game that he can get. It's like, all right, so you're probably telling him you're too old to play video games. It kind of feels like a lot of that, you didn't say it, but it kind of feels like a lot of that's kind of spewing. Yep. Isn't he too old to be playing video games anyways? It kind of reminds me of that kind of person that will say some shit like that.
Yeah.
38-year-old man with a $60 video game.
It does sound like that. Now, but what I have to say, for me, shitting on the guy a little bit, hey, what the fuck are you searching this up on the internet for? Do guys get to still buy their friends? Listen,
he was trying to look for validation of an argument. I see why he did it.
But you should stand on your own shit of like, yo, this is what me and my friends do.
Right.
Like, because
I don't need anything else.
I don't need to be validated that a bunch of other people that are in their late 30s play video games. Yeah. No, listen, this is what me and my boys do. If you guys play Dungeons and Dragons and she shit on that, if you guys collect fucking Matchbox cars and she shit on that, whatever it is, like,
that's your
yo,
thing.
This is what me and my friends do.
That's what we do. This is who you fell in love with, who you're with.
Yeah.
If that's a deal breaker for you, we need to reconsider our marriage.
Chino XL said, walk down the aisle to the altar, singing a hymn. The hidden meaning is I'll alter him. Bars. Because some women do that shit of like, she might have gotten with him of like, yeah, that shit'll be over soon. You know what I mean? Of, you get in there, you start throwing around that pussy. Of just like...
Yep. Friends, gone.
Yep.
No more video games.
Yeah, we're going to be done with that video game stuff soon.
Oh, you like to build models? Not happening. Put them in storage.
I don't disagree with you on... He's saying we can't buy this stuff, but he's buying this stuff. Right. I'm all with you on that.
There's a contradiction there.
Yes.
Yep, it is.
I'm all with you on that.
You're not really saying the price range of things, but I mean, you are saying like groceries and like those seem like kind of minor things, so...
Yeah.
That's
I feel you if you're like, babe, we got to eat ramen this week, and then you're going and dropping $60. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Real shit. Nah, for real.
But like I said, I don't like the name calling. I don't like the exaggeration because that only makes me think that you do that. Right. You know, because that's the only evidence that I have to go on.
A middle-aged man, $100. Like, yeah, you had to really emphasize that to get... It's almost like you're trying to do that to get people to understand. Right? Am I right or am I right?
And it also sounds like you might have realized, like, you don't need to drop... Like, when I see on TV when they're talking about, and we dropped $50,000 on our wedding, and then, you know, the Sweet 16, we dropped $20,000, shit like that. Like, it sounds like here you guys might have went a little bit too ridiculous on your wedding, and then realized, like, oh, we don't have as much money left over as we have, and now you guys are having issues with that. Yep. To where I wonder, before your wedding, did you guys have money issues? Did you ever have to discuss these type of things? Or is this brand new?
Need answers.
Questions.
You know what I mean? So, dig deep in the soul.
Let me fly down into the comments, see if she's responded to anything. This says, you're not the jerk. He is right that you don't necessarily age out of birthday gifts, and it's considered polite to get something where I come from. However, he is a jerk for the rules for thee, but not for me stuff. I'm with you on that. Like I said, if he's talking about, babe, we can't do this, I'm going to pick this up for me. I get it.
Yeah, that's just a contradiction of what you're saying there, but...
Okay, the poster has... He does contribute in other ways. He pays bills. He just won't put anything into improvements. We added a screen patio. It was funded by my aunt and uncle as a wedding gift. And he was still upset over it being expensive. That's odd if he's not paying for it and he's mad that it's expensive.
Right.
Our garage was scattered with our crap and we couldn't find our tools when we needed them because they are in piles on the floor. Once again, the misspelling is insane. Our bikes were buried in the mess. We could not fit a car in there, so I bought organizers to make the space actually functional. I bought the extra cabinets for our kitchen. I planted a flower bed in the front yard. Our hose is dragging and the ground is all tangled up, so I bought one of those hose caddies, which he still refuses to mount because he doesn't want to make screw holes in the side of our house, so he'd rather just leave it there looking messy. Because there isn't necessarily a penalty for not getting things I paid for as opposed to not paying bills. I'm not sure what that means. Because there isn't necessarily a penalty for not getting the things I paid for as opposed to not paying bills. Then he thinks we don't need it and I'm wasting money. It's not like I'm buying myself tons of shoes or anything for myself. The house is brand new and I'm trying to make adjustments needed to make it easier to live in. He'd probably prop his computer up on a box in an empty living room and never get any new furniture if it came down to it. Okay, so you're married to a fucking miser. You're married to a fucking...
Hey, penny pincher. All right, we can't put that up over there. We're not gonna... Yeah. We can't put up screws on the side of the house, man. Screw it into the house, man.
Yep.
You know, from what it sounds like, yeah, he's definitely... So then I guess it would make him a jerk for that. If he's like, you're doing that, bro. And then it's like, well, I'm going to do this over here. It's like, well, if you're going to be that way, We gotta be that way all around. So your friend don't get the $60 game.
Yep.
There's gonna be holes in the side of his house.
Exactly. Because I am confused about what she had just said about their aunt and uncle bought them a screened-in porch as a wedding gift, and the husband was mad that it was expensive. Right. But they didn't. As far as I'm reading here, they didn't pay for it because the aunt and uncle paid for it.
Unless they put in most of it and some of it, and they didn't say that,
Yeah, I don't.
They do some of it, and he didn't want to pay the rest. Now, when you say things like home improvements, that can be expensive when you start getting into things like we need a new skylight or redoing porches and shit. Compared to a $60 game to a couple $1,000s for a repair.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But I mean, if he's like you said, just really penny pinching every little single thing.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, you better penny pinch that damn video game you're buying for your boy.
Right.
You know what I mean? We need that too. Tell him I'll catch you next year. I'm pretty sure he'll still be your friend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the priorities have to be there. This is another good comment here. The point is not whether he gives gifts. The point is that you should both, have a discretionary allowance in the budget where you can each spend on what you want. Of course, you both should also share in deciding your household budget. You should not be the sole arbiter of what you both should or shouldn't purchase for the house. This should have been agreed before the house was purchased. Great comment. That's what I was going to bring up too, is I can't believe how many people get married and don't fucking know who they're marrying or don't talk about, like, imagine if you were buying a house with somebody. How does no conversation happen about what you're going to do once you get the house? Of like,
how we budgeting together,
even daydreaming of like, oh man, you see in the kitchen, babe, I would love to get, a deep sink with a fucking hood scoop, and like, you would say stuff to each other, which is, it always fucks with me when we read a lot of these things of, I'm like, what do y'all do? Just kind of like meet at the end of the day, shake hands, and go to bed and wake up and part way. Like, I don't. Nobody talks to each other.
It's the book. It should be right.
Yeah, it should be the book. Why don't you fucking people talk to each other?
Nobody talks to each other. Yeah, I'm picking it up. This is gonna be a good read.
Yeah, because it's real. Of like, I can't believe you guys didn't discuss this beforehand. Or here's another thing too. Was this always his behavior, and you thought, once we get married, I will change him? Because that's real too. I'm not blaming you. I'm asking a question.
Yep. It's like he's always been the miser.
Yep.
Penny pincher. That's who you married. I mean, you can't not now. I hated that you did this. I was hoping that now we get together, we got a house. Hope will leave you hanging.
Yeah.
Just saying. You don't want to be out there on dry. You know what I mean? Come on now. Talk about it.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't think you're the jerk for pointing out, like, yo, you just said, and now you are, like I said, there can't be rules for you, and I can't live by these same rules. Like, we're a couple. You guys do have to, like I said, decide. But it's tough, too, because what I was saying earlier about, like, having different bank accounts, but if he never wants to spend money on anything inside the house, I get that, too. That's a very tough situation.
It's like, outside of the video game, it's a deeper conversation that needs to be had.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Finances could really ruin.
It's not about the game. It's not about the game.
It's not.
We brought you all the way here to tell you. It's not about the game.
It's not about the game. The game of life.
Yeah.
Remember that game?
It's not about
Go play
the
that boardwalk.
game.
Remember the board game Life? Yeah, that's the one we're playing right now, and it's not a game.
Yeah, that's so true. It is not about the fucking game.
It's deeper than that.
Whew.
Converse.
Yeah. Talk to your partner before you dive in, because a new house is not something to. Like, I applaud you for wanting to fix up and, make a new house into a home. Also, if you're with a person who's okay with Walmart furniture, but you want Raymore and Flanagan,
right?
That's gonna be a tough,
compromise.
But that's why I always say, who was this person before you guys got married? How long did you know each other? Did you fucking live together?
Right.
Was he living on ramen noodles and you're eating steak?
Right. Is this new for him? Like this? I didn't hear like all of a sudden out the blue he became this cheap motherfucker. Like it's. Kind of, you didn't really indicate that, so he is. Yeah. People usually, when they're like that, you have to have a real traumatic experience to turn that way.
Yep.
But it sounds like he was just that way. You know what I mean? And you kind of, this is who you signed up to be with.
I know. You gotta do your I forget who said it, but they said do your research. Your feet hurt from half stepping, and it sounds like you halfway stepped into this relationship of like learn your partner a little bit better. I think it would have helped out. But I'm with you on yes. If you're trying to make your house and he's just like I don't want to spend any money on anything ever, I get it.
Yeah. But my man Johnny, get that $60 game real quick.
Right.
It's like nah, that's Johnny's gonna have to sit this one out. Cause we got ramen noodles in the damn kitchen.
We gotta screw the hose into the house.
Right. Come on, man, get it together.
It's a tough call. You gotta talk more to your partner and decide if this is the person you want to be with. You know, because I'm not saying get divorced over a $60 game. I'm saying you separate from someone that doesn't have the same values as you, because yo just got married. Like, how long are you gonna do this for? It's gonna be tough.
I know. He's gonna keep buying gifts. So budget out with him. You have an understanding, and if it works, it works. If it don't,
Yeah.
life goes on.
Man, please hit us with a comment on any of these stories. Let us know how you're feeling about everything. You know. Until next time.
Unveil.
Ooh. Pop it off.